Hello Saxons, and welcome back to the Saxon Gamer Moment. I'm your host Jordan Savin, and today we'll be talking about two great zombie shooters, Left 4 Dead 2 and its spiritual successor, Back 4 Blood. But first, this week's news. Twitter, the platform of arguments as some would say, has finally accepted Elon Musk's $44 billion offer to buy the company. The entire company. Musk made several statements about his reasoning for the takeover, mentioning protecting free speech and defeating spam bots, in part. Now back to some actual game news. Nintendo Switch Sports has finally come, but the question still remains, will it be as successful as the Wii Sports that most of us remember from our childhood? Next up, the teaser trailer for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered has been released. Modern Warfare 2 Remastered will be one of the last COD games made without Microsoft's management, as the three-term development cycle means that this game was made almost entirely before the Microsoft acquisition. Unfortunately for Activision, however, Call of Duty Warzone has reportedly lost 50 million players from 2021, according to their first investor report of the year. That's all for this week in gaming. Next up, our review. While it may seem that the only similarities between Left 4 Dead and Back 4 Blood are the four-player co-op setting and naming scheme, the actual connection is much deeper. Turtle Rock Studios, the developer of Back 4 Blood, actually used to be a part of Valve, and some of the original Left 4 Dead developers actually left Valve to work at Turtle Rock when they split. However, to say that Back 4 Blood is Left 4 Dead 3 would be wrong, as Back 4 Blood has many key factors that differentiate it from its spiritual predecessor. First of all, modern video game features such as aiming down sights and sprinting are not present in Left 4 Dead, which not everyone likes. Back 4 Blood, however, integrates these features into the core gameplay loop, making the game feel more modern and a little bit faster than Left 4 Dead. Back 4 Blood also has a card system where you make a deck of 15 cards that boost your stats or have other benefits, and pick one at the beginning of each level, getting stronger as you progress. This system adds quite a bit of flexibility on what you can do in the game and help with replayability of the mainly co-op game. But currently, the game could benefit from more perk cards being added to increase the number of builds. Unfortunately for Back 4 Blood, the PvP in-game pales in comparison to Left 4 Dead. In Left 4 Dead's Versus mode, you take turns running through sections of a campaign playing as both survivors and mutated infected, with how long you last, or how much damage you dealt, counting towards your team's score. This mode has kept Left 4 Dead's loyal fanbase playing the game since its release in 2009. And even without any developer support for years on end, people still keep playing. But Back 4 Blood's PvP mode is something that most of the community hates with a passion. The Left 4 Dead fans who bought Back 4 Blood were severely disappointed to find that the PvP isn't anything like Left 4 Dead's Versus, and more like the unpopular survival mode, where you hold out in a closed area and see how long you last. Left 4 Dead also has a community workshop on Steam, where you can download maps, weapon skins, and other mods. Whether you want realistic, updated weapons and blood, or to see Spider-Man on your team shooting Minecraft zombies with a Nerf gun, anything that has been uploaded to the workshop can be added to your game. The workshop is not moderated by Valve whatsoever, so use it at your own risk. And now, on to our interview. So Left 4 Dead 2 and Back 4 Blood, very similar games, but they still have some large distinct differences. So I got two experts that I know on the games. So introduce yourselves.
I'm Brady.
I'm Daniel.
Welcome to the show. So, for our interview today, the questions are in no particular order, but just to start us off, who's your favorite character across both the games?
For Left 4 Dead, I gotta say Ellis.
Ellis.
Just his inane rambling really fills out the empty space.
Yeah, great
And
character. I love Ellis.
For Back 4 Blood, it would be Holly to play, but Hoffman as a character, because his inane ramblings also fill out the empty
Hoffman.
space.
Hoffman is just insane. What about you, Daniel?
Wild.
For Left 4 Dead, I would say it's really a tie between Ellis and Zoe. Ellis is a much funnier character, and he really fills out the comedic role
Yeah.
for Left 4 Dead 2. But Zoe has a much better character arc and plot
Yeah.
that it feels very satisfying to know.
Yeah, most people don't actually pay attention to the plot, but I would encourage a lot of our viewers to go and check out the lore behind Left 4 Dead. It's more in depth than you would expect, really. Yeah. What do you notice the most when switching between the two games?
I'd say probably the technical skill between the two is very different. Back for Blood it's a little difficult to pick up, but it's easy to get it down.
Okay.
But Left 4 Dead is simple in concept, but it gets really in depth with how the source engine is.
I'd say, yeah, the technical stuff about it, like Left 4 Dead has b-hopping, and Back 4 Blood does not. It has running and stamina, which is
Yeah, sprint.
which is a resource you kind of have
Slightly
to
controversial.
slightly only a little bit, which it does bring more variety because you have to think about, oh, do I run away or do I attack
Or I know with the if you pair the combat knife with the Battle Lust, that card gives you 2 health on a melee attack. I mean, I find myself just swinging and swinging even though I should be shooting.
and for me, for like recently in the patch notes, they buffed it so it's boosted by healing efficiency.
Oh,
So
that
like
changes it.
so that helps a lot.
Get 3 health.
It's crazy.
3 whole health?
Yeah,
health.
Wow.
maybe sometimes 4 if you're lucky.
That's
if you have enough
insane.
healing efficiency.
Yeah, I can see how that would be good. Well, kind of on that note, what is your favorite addition to the format in Back 4 Blood? I mean, they did add a whole lot.
I don't really know. I think I like ADS. It's nice
Okay.
to have. I don't use it personally, but
Neither do I.
when I
It's
do,
kind of a staple of modern video games,
Yeah.
shooters.
it makes it more separated from Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
I'd say more variety in gameplay styles. Left 4 Dead, all the characters are pretty much the same tech-wise.
Well, they are the same.
Yeah, they are
Yeah.
the same. But like,
Well, they're funny.
but Back 4 Blood, it very much opens your gameplay styles to what you want to do. If you want to play a melee character, that's absolutely an option. If you want to play support, you want to play tank or ammo holder, or
The
anything
card
like
system,
that.
it really does change up how you can play the game.
Yeah.
So, more about Left 4 Dead. Do you think Valve should bring back more developer support for the game? I mean, I know they released that community update that was approved by Valve a couple years ago, but do you think Valve should really get back into it?
I don't think it needs it, really, because Left 4 Dead, it's very mechanically set in stone, because it's a very simple game.
Yeah.
There's no different characters, there's no different play styles, so it's really stood the test of time. There's
Yeah.
a few bugs, but most of them are more fun than harmful, and I feel like Valve has other specific games they should probably be focusing on.
Subtle hint towards Team Fortress 2.
Subtle reference.
Picture
Yes.
here.
We have to do that one too.
Honestly, it doesn't need it. The game
Yeah.
is one of the best co-op zombie shooters like ever made, and
Okay.
it's impressive how long it's lasted. It's tested the time of 13 years.
If I'm not mistaken, it still has more, well, not still, but it has more players than Back 4
Oh
Blood.
yeah, it has
Oh, yeah.
way
I
more.
think-
Definitely.
It was
The peak-
20,000 to 2,000? No, 20,000 to 10,000, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe we'll put
it's
something on screen.
drastic.
I mean, the most amount of people ever playing Left 4 Dead at one time was like around 200,000.
Yeah.
And the most amount of people ever playing Back 4 Blood at one time was like 65,000.
Almost 65, wow.
65,000.
Yeah, I mean, part of that, they don't account for also being on Xbox, and Back 4 Blood did go straight to Game Pass. So,
Ugh.
not a very good sign
No.
either. Yeah. Kind of part of that. What do you think Turtle Rock should have done differently about Back for Blood? There's a lot of things you could probably say, but try to narrow it down, please.
At least another year of
Yeah.
development.
Another year in the oven.
Like at minimum another year.
It's fine where it is, but if it had one more year, it could be way better.
Okay.
There's a lot of frustrations surrounding just little mechanics that need to be
Oh,
tweaked.
yeah.
Like more
Like-
like more balancing, more voice lines, making the game overall just look better.
The infinite horde on level 3.
A nightmare, yeah.
Yeah.
The nightmare difficulty, it's not as bad as it used to be, but
It-
they changed the
it's-
third level
yeah.
on the first act of the game so that you start the event, but then it just spawns infinite zombies and you can't get past
It
without
is
like 3 or 4 pipe
Indeed, what the difficulty is. It's a
nightmare.
nightmare to play.
bombs. Yeah. Yeah, better than no hope mode.
We haven't even tried that yet.
I mean, it
I
gives
don't
you.
want to.
That's fair.
I just don't want.
I mean, it could be fun. It gives you all of your cards at the beginning, and you just
Yeah,
go.
that is
Yeah,
something interesting.
Just kind of roll.
Yeah.
So much ammo, Jordan. You can pick ammo every round.
Gosh.
Ammo, 1%
right.
damage. 1% damage.
That 1% damage really does help.
Yep.
Plus, on
Yeah.
top of the other one that you can buy for
Yeah.
another 2% damage
Yeah.
every round.
I mean, I can spend 1,000 in-game coins, right, and get 20 extra bullets. It is
Yeah, 20 bullets.
incredibly worth it. All right, I think we're running out of time, so for our last question, how have the latest updates and the DLC drop affected your experience in the game as a whole for Back for Blood?
The game is in a much better spot than it was back at launch, or even
In
in past
October.
updates, because they added a lot of content. They added a lot of new things like the Ridden Hives.
Yeah.
That really boosts the game into a better spot,
Yeah.
which does add more content, but it's still very far off what it could be.
I'm liking all the new content. It makes the game much less of a hassle to
Yeah.
handle, but their balancing needs work because they nerf. They don't buff.
Yeah, a lot of that I have noticed. The cards, I think I've only seen 1 or 2 that I use that got buffed instead of nerfed.
Yeah.
And I think as a whole they made the game easier, but they also made players a little bit weaker.
In my playstyle, the melee playstyle, it's a really powerful playstyle. So it's had nerf after nerf, and it's barely
Ooh.
gotten buffed.
Okay.
It's been a slog.
For like support, they haven't nerfed, they've reworked some
Okay.
cards. They have nerfed Doc as a character. They nerfed both of her abilities by 5%, and they've changed some cards like Field Surgeon, which used to do 60% healing efficiency, but took away 50% use speed. They changed that to every time you heal someone with anything, they heal 3 trauma, which is massive change
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
kind of still don't like, because
Okay.
that's completely changing the card's identity completely
Yeah.
from what it used to be.
Yeah. Big changes. But I'm sure with time, it's got a little bit of Battlefield syndrome. It starts off awfully at release, but it'll get better.
Also
Ooh,
Bethesda.
that is an unfortunate pattern.
Bethesda syndrome also,
Yeah. Mainly Battlefield.
and EA syndrome, and let's move on.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on the show, and I guess we'll go back to whatever we were doing before. I don't remember. I should have written down a transition. We'll just go. As you can see from the cuts we had to make, that interview ran longer than expected. The full interview will be available as a separate video for those who are interested. Next up is our clip of the week. Cool, funny, or random clips sent in by you, our fellow gamers.
I am so
Oh, we
sorry.
could. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Whoa!
And that's all for this week's show. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, Saxons.